What a beautiful boat. This is one of those new Formula Center consoles. If you guys haven't seen these yet, they're absolutely incredible. We did a walkthrough at one at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. Beautiful boat. Looks like it's going to be a formidable adversary for Haulover Inlet for many years to come. Welcome back, guys, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And today should be a fun one. We've got a 15-mile-an-hour wind, an outgoing tide, which usually makes for some unique conditions for our captains to face. But here we go. Let's step into the first round. And speaking of formidable adversaries, we're going to go with a yellowfin as our first contestant to step in the ring and try and do battle with the inlet. But Cap is coming out slow. I'm not sure why. This boat is more than capable of getting up on plane and really eating Haulover up, but our captain, for whatever reasons, just taking it nice and easy. But typically this is a recipe for disaster, especially on a day like today. We've got a nice tight chop. My man's gonna find himself probably in trouble, and there we go. There it is. It's the stuffing, the free Haulover decorants for the yellowfin. Cap just decided to come out too slow, and man, right here, the waves too tight together, catch him off guard, and he winds up stuffing the bow. And unfortunately for this crew, that's going to be a loss for the boats here in the first round. Now let's see if our captain here in the second round has a little better luck as he tries to do battle with the inlet. And here we're going to feature a Cape Horn. And Captain's starting to lay into the throttle just a little bit, and let's see how he does. He's starting to get the boat just barely up on plane, trying to keep the bow high. And man, he's going to roll into some bigger rollers. Here we go. Gets this Cape Horn going pretty good. Gets a little airborne. I wait for the hard smack, and it just doesn't come. Man, these Cape Horns really do land soft. And Cap's going to go ahead and make his way out the north side of the inlet and take a win for the boats here in the second round. And that'll move us into the third round, where we're going to feature an Azimuth stepping in the ring, trying to make its way out of Haulover. Now, Haulover, it's kind of rough today, but is it rough enough to give this boat a challenge? These azimuths are huge, they move a lot of water, and this should be easy work for this crew, but let's see how they do as they make their way out. And it looks like Haulover's knocked the dinghy loose on the back. Here, if you take a close look, you're going to see it's kind of moving all over the place, and it's knocked it off its davits. And this is a dangerous one. We see these things fall in the water all the time here. But here our crew, our guy in the back just noticed it. He points it out. Nobody's going to say anything to Cap, though. They're just going to keep going as they make their way out of the inlet. Hopefully, we don't see this yacht coming back in a little bit later with the dinghy gone. And that one we've seen as well, where these crews get a little further offshore and don't even realize they lose it. But Haulover did its damage, giving these guys a rough ride out, knocking the dinghy loose, and I'm going to go ahead and give this round to Haulover, which is going to give Haulover a 2-1 lead as we move into the fourth round of our contest. And here in the fourth round, we're going to feature a Haulover Slayer, a Sea Hunter. Let's see how our captain fares as they try and make their way out. And Cap's getting up on the throttle, keeping the boat barely on plane, bow high. It is a tight chop, and man, they take a big smack there, but they keep the bow up. Cap adds a little more power to try and push his way through it. Here we see it from another angle, the smack. And once again, Captain, though, wisely lays into the throttle a little more, gets the boat moving, and this crew, beyond that one smack's not going to have much of an issue, and they'll take a win for the boats in the fourth round. And that'll bring us to a 2-2 tie as we move into the fifth and final round of our contest. And who will take the win in this episode? Will it be the boats or Haulover? And here we go. We've got an Axopar making its way into the inlet. Now, these Axopars really are designed for these rough conditions, but they do have a notoriously low freeboard, which means they've got to make sure when a captain's coming into an inlet like this with a heavy following sea that he finds a way to keep this bow up. Now, one of the ways of doing so is exactly like he's doing it, throttling up and letting the boat do the work. But you still play a risk because it's not at the maximum height that you can get this bow. But our captain's working it, looks pretty solid. Let's see how he fares. And here we go. He's starting to get into some of the bigger stuff, and they're going to stop it. He stuffs it right there at the end. Here we're going to take a look at it from another angle. You can see their approach looks pretty good initially, but they just get into the tight chop. Things get a little out of control there at the end, and he winds up stuffing that bow. But Cap wisely keeps on the throttle, powers his way through it, and the boat winds up coming out just fine. Unfortunately for this crew, though, we do have rules, and if you stuff the bow, you take the loss, and that's going to mean Haulover takes the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at Haulover Inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity down at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.